So this is rare for me to go into a project and really like break it down to this like granular level of like what is skating really, and like it's really fun to do actually. Once I get over my self-consciousness about talking like this, I actually do really enjoy nerding out on this level. So the way that whole piece came about was Sam reached out to me about the issue. He told me the theme was dancing. He kind of threw out this idea of this beautiful flat ground moment with someone kind of just focusing on form and the way the body moves a little more than like the actual tricks. And we also both kind of had the same idea. We thought of these old photos of Baryshnikov dancing in like these New York lofts, you know, these like wood floor, like there's a bar. It's like they're ballet studios, but you can tell they're very much like a loft in Lower East Side or so or something. They're all like these rad black and white photos where they're doing leaps and they're like using flash and all this stuff, and it just looks really cool. We liked those photos and we thought it'd be cool to pick a skater who has great style, has great flat ground, to kind of do something similar with, and just like put a skater in an empty room and just see what they did, what their warm-up routine was, where they ended up going, where they anchored themselves within the room. That's an interesting thing. And I was in Miami and I was thinking of people and I was like, oh, Brad would be perfect. I reached out, we rented a warehouse space, and Brad was kind of just like, not confused, but he was like, so what are we doing, you know? And I was like, you're just going to skate flat. I'm going to take photos. I'm going to shoot some Super 8. I'm going to see what's happening and then go from there. I want to see what you do and then try and think of different ways to shoot this, you know, to show, you know, shooting flat ground from this different perspective, this idea of like, I guess, how is it similar to a dancer and what they do in their warm-ups and their movements? What motions do you go through in the beginning to get warm, that kind of stuff.
Like heaven packed down. And sky fell.
So yeah, we essentially just rented this warehouse. It was filthy when we got there. We had to clean it up. All the windows were boarded shut, so all the light I thought I was gonna get, I didn't get. We had one like roll-up door to open, and that was it.
With a bowl of cherries, you give me a bowl of pits. That pits will grow into trees one day.
Yeah, I just kind of let Brad in there. I said, just skate around, warm up. How would you warm up? Do shove-its, do kickflips, do whatever. Yeah, spin around.
I'm just living on tiptoe.
There's certain tricks of Brad that I just love. He floats. That's another thing about Brad, like different than a lot of skaters. Since Brad floats, it was just like, yeah, do an impossible. And he's just up there for so long. Also shooting like the moments he would find a spot on the wall to wait in between tricks. You know, he'd have his hand on the wall. It was this desire to anchor kind of came out. It was just kind of like where you find this little nook in the room. And then you go out and do your little battle and then come back. Things like there's like a pillar in the middle of the room and he would avoid the pillar to kind of go in a circle. And it's this fun moment where he gets as close as you possibly can to the pillar as he's carving around it without touching it. And he has to like move his arm and his face. And it's these little things when you're watching for that, you're like, that's like cool and weird. Why wouldn't you just go a foot around the pillar? It's because he needed to get on a specific trajectory and he wanted us to be as close to that pillar as possible. And it was really trying to like find little moments in between the skating like that. Just again, it's the relationship to this should be empty space, but you find ways to make spots out of all of it, I guess.
Maybe so, maybe so. I'm just living on tiptoe. Feeling like so-so. Try not to step on your eggs.
Like if you'll notice in that photo, you barely see his board, right? It's way more about his body. It was way more about what is his body doing when he's doing tricks. That was the goal. So shooting down on a back three, people have done that before. It's not a new angle, but I knew that he'd be twisted up. We want photos that showcase the movement, the body, the arms, all that stuff. So that angle was a great angle. Came out so cool. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is like the shape. This is dance. You know, like this is, if you're going to compare skating to dance, Brad doing a back three from that angle feels dancey to me.
It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain.